Hi, my name's Michelle, and today I'd like to teach you how to make professional looking truffles at home. In this segment, you will learn how to roll, dip, and decorate your truffles. For the recipes, please visit www.cakepalette.com. Now let's talk about tools and equipment needed for truffle making. You will need a scale. Either a commercial portion scale or a food scale will do. This is used to accurately measure your solid ingredients. A measuring cup, you will use that to measure your heavy cream. 2 sheet pans lined with waxed or parchment paper, cake spatulas or a butter knife. You will use that to remove your truffles from the pan. A dipping tool. I find the dipping tool is one of my favorite tools. It makes truffle making so much easier and quicker, and you can find that at any craft store by you. It might not look the same, but you'll be able to find something similar. And another very important thing I don't want to forget is our truffle cups. These are just kind of add the extra touch for your truffle making. You can also buy those at the craft store, and they come in different shapes and sizes. So when you're making your truffle, try to have one that will fit in your cup that you picked out. But it makes things look really classy and elegant. And teaspoons. Silverware that you have in your drawer, 2 teaspoons we'll use for drizzling. The ladle is used for dipping in method 2. A rubber scraper you'll use, and also 2 saucepans. A medium saucepan will be used, and a wire whisk to make the ganache. That's your center truffles. This small sauce pot will be used like a bain-marie or a double boiler. You'll fill the bottom with about 1 inch of water, and the small sauce pot will be on top, and you'll use this pan here for your dipping and your glazing, your drizzle of your truffles. We pour our cream into the pot. We turn the burner all the way on high, and what we are going to do is we are going to wait for the cream to rise. In the meanwhile, you see the chocolate in the back. I've already assembled the chocolate pieces, and so they'll be ready to go in. And we just wait. Now, as we're waiting for this to rise, like I said, we have everything assembled. I want to let you know this is an overnight recipe, meaning that's prepared one day, put in the refrigerator, and then you can roll out the truffles the next day. See how it's starting to rise? That's what we want. Here we go. What I'm going to partially do is I'm going to take this off the burner, and I have an electric stove, so it still stays warm. But what you want to do is melt all the chocolate, but definitely not burn it. So you're going to have to stir it. See how shiny and nice that's getting now? I'm going to return it just for a little bit. Like I said, you just want to melt the chocolate. You don't want to burn it. Keep on stirring with your wire whisk. Now the chocolate has cooled about 10-15 minutes. I'm going to put it in a plastic container and then refrigerate it. Like I mentioned, it takes 24 hours for it to set. So if you're planning anything, any occasion, any party, give yourself time. Know that this recipe, although it's easy, it does take time to set up and have everything ready. Okay, this is my truffle mix that sat in the refrigerator overnight, and I'm going to test it, and it is a great consistency. It should be nice to roll, and feels really smooth. And this is how you make it. You get really dirty doing this part. This is really pretty much done. It's melted really well. It's the consistency I want it. See, it's not too runny. It flows nicely from the spoon. The truffles have been sitting in the freezer for about 10-15 minutes now. Now they're ready to be dipped. Okay, now we've got to work fairly quickly. I've got my dipping tool here. I place the truffle in there, I swirl it around, and I take it out. Let a little of the chocolate drizzle off, and I place it on another sheet pan that was lined with wax paper. Again, try to coat, make sure I get everything. And you just have to keep an eye on your chocolate for consistency. If it starts to get too thick, then you might want to return it back to the stove and heat it up a little bit. The pan, that is, the double boiler. And put them out right there. Now there is another way, method that you could use to dip these, and I call this method 1. It's the quickest and fastest method, but method 2 is more for if you want your truffles to be more perfect, as far as for show work, competition, a candy shop, something like that. You know, something that you would definitely want to make sure that they look perfect. I'm going to return these back to the freezer for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then we are going to do our final drizzling, which will be the final touch on the truffles. Okay, I've taken the truffles out of the freezer now, and they've all set up really nice, and we're going to start drizzling them. I've taken the chocolate off of the small sauce pot and let it cool, you know, for a little bit while these were setting up. And now we're going to start drizzling. You want it to be like that consistency for a drizzle. And all you do, some people do this with their hands. One place I had been at, you know, you basically dip your fingers in there and you run your hands. I find that kind of messy, so I do it this way. But you can do whatever suits you best. And here we go. Now when I return these, I will return these back to the freezer to set up, and then I will be putting them, I just find it really nice when you put them in truffle cups to be placed out on your table in a little dish. Truffles have been removed from the freezer, and now they're ready to be assembled on a serving tray or plate or whatever you have. You know what? Sometimes it's just easier taking it off here. Any of the little drizzly parts can usually be easily removed as you put them on the tray. And if for some reason you're not using them right now, the truffles, and you want to save them for later, well, you can put them in here. I wouldn't put them with the papers on, but I would just put them in the container and don't stack them. And then they will be ready for your use later on. I would generally say that truffles can keep in the refrigerator for about a week. Any other time than that, I would put them in the freezer. I'd like to mention that when you put them, the truffles assembled on a platter like this with the paper cups take a little bit of room, so it makes it look like there's more truffles on the plate. It also just gives that extra like special touch to the truffle as far as, so when somebody picks it up, it won't be messy when they're eating it.